This variety is dark red Norland, one of our top selling varieties. We've run out of dark red, we can't put it off anymore, so today's the day to finish up grading potatoes for the season on Wood Prairie Family Farm. So we're dumping the field run pallet box into standard Aroostook County potato hopper. The field run potatoes, uncleaned, ungraded, unsized, go into the hopper. Then they come out on this lag belt. The lags have a gap so the dirt can drop through, getting rid of it so it doesn't load up dirt onto the brusher. Hopper, when we got it, fed so fast, was designed for wider grading equipment and a higher volume operation than we have. We needed to slow it down, so we did two things to it. One, we added this axle here and this large pulley. We were able to slow the feed speed down, so that was a primary. And then we also added this variable speed pulley, which right now it's at the fastest speed, and by cranking this down that direction, the motor slides back, the belt drops down more into the center of that pulley, and it slows the feed down. In this case, it's a very high quality seed lot, very little wrong with it beyond those few growth cracks. So we've got it cranked up at high speed to move this process along. If we have a seed lot that has trouble in it and takes more effort to grade, we just slow everything down. So if we've got a seed lot that needs a lot of attention, we slow it down, we keep the hopper minimally fed so it'll feed out slowly. The first step coming out of the hopper goes onto the cleaning brushes, and this first one is called a rubber brusher. It's got rubber tips and it cleans off 80 to 90% of the gross dirt on the potatoes, especially if you were digging after a recent rain and you had some mud that was clinging to the skin. That does a good job. In this case, I remember digging this variety. I remember the day, and it was ahead of a rain. The ground was relatively dry for a wet year. They came out clean, and you can see that they're buffing up real nice, but they didn't have that much dirt to start with. And then we've got a second brusher, and it's a nylon brusher. And it's kind of like buffing your shoes with a nylon. It goes around, it does a job of fine cleaning, and when you're done, at the other end, you come up with a thin patina of soil. You would never wash seed potatoes with water. The water could transfer disease from a diseased potato to a healthy potato. So seed potatoes are never wet washed, but if you buff it off, you can see it's still got good color for this late in the season. These have been in storage 6 or 7 months now. They're in good shape, no shriveling, nice sound potatoes, and these are going to grow a nice crop of potatoes. This last roll we've got on both of the brushers, it's called a ding-ding. What it is if you've got a rock coming up, the rock will start to ding on that, and it'll alert the grading crew that they've got a rock that they need to keep on the lookout for to pull that out. So once they come off the rubber brusher, they feed onto the nylon brusher. Once they go up the nylon brusher, they drop onto this wood sizer. Its function is to size the crop after they've come over the brushers for cleaning purposes. So it starts out with a lag bed. It comes up to a drop sizer, to where a tuber going up, we've got it's a two-chain drop sizer. So the tubers that are largest, they can't drop below any chain, so they go over the top up to the roller table. The medium-sized tubers, and this top chain we switched this year for the first time in 25 years. We had an 1 7/8 going back, and we switched over to a 2 1/8. So this tuber is about 2 1/8, and it's going to be able to drop through that top chain. But if you look close, you can see a second sizing chain below, which looks like it's about 1 1/4 inches. So if the tuber is greater than 1 1/4 inches, but under 2 1/8, it's going to come out of this side belt, go into this Haynes single bagger, and Peter is working on the end of this, pulling out any defect. Here's a rotten tuber that looks like it succumbed to too much water stress last summer. The smallest tubers that are small enough that they drop through a 2 1/8 chain and the 1 1/4 chain, they're called peewees, and they go through here, and you can see there are not many peewees in this crop. It's a very uniform sized crop. With all the rain we had, that promoted growth, so we're not getting too many peewees out of it. At this point, the bees, what are called the bees, sometimes they call them seconds, but we like the term bees because size relates to letters. So the A size are the largest, the Bs are what we're using. In our case, we keep the Aroostook County term peewees for the smallest. We use the term bees for the second smallest, and the larger ones go over the grading cable. Peter, standing here, is pulling out any defect among these tubers coming up. This is operated with a foot pedal, so he can advance the perforated belt with his foot using his 2 hands to grade out anything that isn't up to snuff. So here's the drop sizer, the B table coming into the Haynes single bagger. The tubers that are so large that they're 2 1/8 inch and up, they're going to go over the chain on the drop sizer, feed onto this roller table, and as the roller table goes along, it's revolving and the potatoes are turned as well, so you're able to inspect all sides of the potato as they're coming across, and then as they come across, you pick a grade. So here's one with a biologic growth crack that's going to be picked out into a box of table stock pickouts that we may eat upstairs in the house, but it won't see use as a seed crop. The boxes here, these are number 2 seed. Here's one that was sliced at harvest time by the spade on the harvester. It completely calloused over in the fall right after. You can look and see that there's no shriveling on the skin, indicating no moisture loss. So this is a sound piece, that seed piece that would be fine for seed. So I wouldn't hesitate planting that ourselves, but because of its ugliness, we would never sell it. Here's one. Actually, I'd toss that in the, probably that's gonna go get fed to the cow because it's small enough that it would be a little bit of a pain to have to clean it. We keep a small herd of cows to eat our cull potatoes, so we get free beef after feeding them potatoes and grass and hay. What goes over the end there are nice uniform tubers, free of defects, that are going to go in for seed. And we'll use some of this seed for our own planting purposes and some of the seed we're going to be selling. So these pallet boxes, hardwood pallet boxes here, hold about 1,000 pounds of potatoes after grading. The field pallet boxes that are 4-foot cubes, those hold about a ton of potatoes, 2,000 pounds of potatoes. These pallet boxes here hold about 1,000 pounds of potatoes.